What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video and here for another episode of my F1 2021 mod career mode as Sebastian Vettel, and today it's time for round 5 at Montreal at the Canadian Grand Prix. I know that we're not going to have in the real life calendar, it was replaced by the Turkish Grand Prix, but considering that it was in the schedule, in the first schedule calendar, but considering that we don't have the Istanbul circuit in this game, I thought okay, let's race at Montreal, let's see if we're going to have a banger of a race. I'm not really a fan of this track, so the best for me would be not racing today, but you know, I always like to give you the best content as possible, and I know that Canada is a track that many of you guys might like. But anyway, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more Formula 1 content. It really motivates me to make more rolling with 2 series, banging with 2 series at the moment in this channel, the My Team career mode and 2021 mod career mode as Sebastian Vettel, trying to finish this series as quickly as I can before F1 2021 comes to the market. But today it was a very good day for us. We're going to start in second place on the front row of the grid alongside Lewis Hamilton. It was a very positive qualifying for us, which had some rain in the mix. But before jumping into the race, we're going to take a quick look at the qualifying highlights. And you can see in Q1, just a walk in the park. But in Q2, I decided to risk once again, and I'm going to try to qualify on the mediums. You can see that we're going to start in the medium comparative tires, so this means that we managed to get into the top 10 shootout using the medium comparative tire. Unfortunately, ALONSO was knocked out, which is not the best thing, and they actually tried to qualify on the soft. So once again, out qualifying our teammate, and the pace is looking really good. But in Q3 is where the rain started to appear, and for the time, and we're going to use the intermediate tires for the entire session. The rain is going to ease down a little bit as the minutes go by, but it's not going to be enough to put to be optimal to the dry comparative tires. So for the time being, we are in 4th place, which is pretty good. I took easy on the first lap, not to take any risks straight away. But now I'm gonna let you guys have a look at my best lap, my final lap in Q3, and then I'm going to hand over to Miles to get the grid rundown.
Yesterday we saw a wet qualifying 3, so that is what the grid will look like for today's race. It's Lewis Hamilton taking yet another pole position, but this time it's Sebastian Vettel alongside him, followed by Valtteri Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Red Bull 3rd row of the grids, Charles Leclerc in 7th, Esteban Ocon follows him, Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris with the grid penalty, followed by Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda. Mick Schumacher will start 15th alongside his teammate Nikita Mazepin, Nicholas Latifi, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Räikkönen will round up the grid.
Thanks Miles, everything is done and dusted for the Canadian Grand Prix. For the first time starting in the front row in this career mode, 5 red lights and it slides out and away we go. Great start already alongside Lewis Hamilton, and we are very close to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Round the outside, we go side by side with our old rival when Vettel was in his Ferrari days. Who's going to have the better traction? For the time being, is it going to be Lewis Hamilton? Look how much of a rocket ship that Mercedes is in the exits, and we're down. We remain in P2, we're not down down, because this is our starting position, and Hamilton maintains the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. But I tried everything. Maybe if I started on the softs, who knows, I could have a very good chance to take the lead of the Grand Prix. But anyway, we are in second place, and you can see a huge tank slap, and you can see Hamilton already plus 1 second ahead of us. You can see that I'm struggling a lot for traction, and Alonso looking pretty pacey, already up into third place after a great qualifying. Is he going to dive down inside into the hairpin? No, for the time being, the answer. But let me say, Alonso is looking really good at the moment to score his first podium in this career mode series, as we have some yellow flags that I think is due to the fact that everyone is bunched up at the hairpin. But you can see that at the moment it's Hamilton, Vettel and Alonso. So I think this would mean maybe a 14 or 15 championship podium, a championship title podium. Let's see if the race is going to end like this. I really want to win this race, but let's be honest, we are on an Aston Martin. He's very good in this game, not like in the real life. But anyway, we're going to press on, setting personal best, and Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he's clearly on the pace, and Bottas remains behind Alonso. So it seems that Alonso is going to be pretty pacey in these first few laps, because he's on the softer compound of tires. But as the laps go by, maybe he's going to start to drop the pace. For the time being, he's on our DRS range. We have to watch out, and maybe, who knows, we can have a very good battle with him. Is what we're going to find out in these next few laps, as we skip all the way forward onto lap 7, and Hamilton already with a 5-second lead. That is outrageous how much lead he already has, just to see how powerful that Mercedes is. You can see the Red Bulls that should be challenging the Mercedes are not looking that pacey, and there is Alonso pulling into the pit at the end of lap 9. So we'll see what is going to be the strategy for the guys that started on the softs. When it comes to the strategy in general, the one stop is not really viable at Montreal. The best way to go is take the 2-stop, which is Alonso is going to do. He's going to dress a brand set of medium tires. About our strategy, we're starting on the mediums, and we're going to switch then to the softs, and then finish the race on the mediums. Maybe we can finish on the softs. Maybe the safety car can be a big play. We'll see in what is going to happen in these next few laps. And Nikita Mazepin pulls into the pits as well. Everyone is pulling into the pits that started on the softs, just to showing that everyone is in the same boat. You can see Kimi Raikkonen as well with the medium compound of tires. As we come back to our POV, this is real time, and you can see that Bottas already smelling my gearbox, and I don't know how much longer am I going to hold this Mercedes, because he's looking pretty pacey, and we are on the same compound of tires, so it's going to be all down to car pace as Mick Schumacher is out of the race. But anyway, coming back to our race, Bottas is going to have the DRS available, and I'm actually struggling a little bit to save some ERS and fuel, because I'm used to my Season 3 My Team car. But here comes Valtteri Bottas. He's going to try to dive down inside through the chicane, and oh, he just about, only just closed the door. That was really close for Bottas to lose his front wing, and now Antonio Giovinazzi out of the race, and the safety car has been deployed, and I'm not going to hesitate, and I'm going to pit on this lap. But here's the reason of the safety car. It's because of Antonio Giovinazzi trying to pull into the side of the track. Oh, that was really close with Nikita Mazepin also almost, I should say, hitting the back of Antonio Giovinazzi, and let me say that Giovinazzi wasn't in the best place. So Giovinazzi and Mazepin not being best friends even in this career mode series, but this time I'm afraid to say that it was more Giovinazzi's fault than Mazepin's. But this is Mick Schumacher a few laps before pulling onto the side of the track as well, and this safety car is really going to come in handy, because we're going to save a lot of time. So we're going to pull into the pits, and we're going to test a brand set of soft tires, because we need to be in the best way possible in the restart in order to be not under threat and have a chance to overtake someone in front. So I think the best option that we can take for the time being is fitting the soft compound tire. So this will mean that on our final stop we're going to dress a brand set of mediums. So for the time being we are in 5th place, and you can see that Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas are not following us in this pit stop phase. And here comes Fernando Alonso. Are we going to be overtaken by the Alpine? It seems that no is the answer. Yes, we are ahead of Fernando Alonso. This safety car really came in handy, because if it wasn't thanks to the safety car, we would be clearly behind Alonso. So thank you for that, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. As we're getting ready for the restart of this Grand Prix is Bottas and then the 2 Red Bulls that need to stop, and they are on the medium. So I don't know why they didn't stop during the safety car period, but this Grand Prix gets underway once again, already gaining a lot on Lewis Hamilton, and this is a copycat of what he had at the start. Round inside we go, switching to the inside, and we might take the virtual lead of the Grand Prix, and yes we do, overtaking Lewis Hamilton once again at the second try. We did that in the softer comparative tyres, Hamilton in the same tyre to be fair, but now he seems to be a little bit under pressure from Alonso. Actually we are really bunched up, so everything is open at the moment for the race win. Who knows, Alonso can win this race. It's going to be really hard because he's on the mediums, but now Hamilton will have another chance, and we are side by side as we go through the chicane. I'm a little bit braver on the brakes because we have the inside line and we remain in 4th place of this Grand Prix. But at that chicane at the beginning of the second sector, let me tell you that I'm absolute crap. I struggle so much for traction as I'm trying to take a look around the outside of Sergio Perez. Look at the traction that we have, that's outrageous. How much space that we have against the old medium runners, and that's us into the final step of the podium. And hopefully Hamilton is going to lose a little bit of time with Perez, and maybe we can break the DRS window, but it seems not, because these guys are pulling into the pits, and they have it. Valtteri Bottas is going to dress a brand new set of soft tires. This is a disaster of a strategy for Mercedes, especially for Red Bull, because Sergio Perez, look how much time he is losing thanks to Max Verstappen. This is a complete strategical disaster for Mercedes and even more for Red Bull, and I will never understand why these guys didn't pit under the safety car period. But now we are back to our POV, and you can see that how much we struggle for traction at the exit of this chicane, and Hamilton is going to have another chance to take the lead of this Grand Prix. This is brilliant stuff between myself as Vettel and Hamilton, two old rivals going at it. It's a shame that the car is not the same, but we remain in the lead of the Grand Prix. But oh boy, I'm loving this race, and beautiful camera shot. I can see the speed that the car is carrying in that braking zone, and if we squabble this hard, I think Alonso might join to the party. Who knows, we can have a freeway fight for the race win between Vettel, Hamilton and Alonso. How great it would be, probably would be the best race of this career mode series. But I don't know how much longer am I going to keep Hamilton behind, because it is a Mercedes at the end of the day, and look how much he's good on the straight lines here, despite having as well a Mercedes power unit at the back, and down the inside he goes, and once again going side by side through the first sector. But this time Hamilton doesn't risk that much, and we remain in 1st place. But you can see that I'm struggling to keep Hamilton behind, and like I said a few moments before, I don't know how much longer am I going to take. Look how close he is, and you're going to see now clearly how much I struggle for traction. You can see that I lost just a tiny bit the back end as I'm trying to push as hard as I can, and it seems that Hamilton for the time being is not going to do anything. I'm also struggling a little bit once again with the ERS and the fuel, because I'm not really used to race at this track, and I'm used to my season 3 my team car. But here comes Hamilton through the hairpin, round the outside he goes. Who's going to be the best on the traction? Probably is going to be Hamilton. Just wait to see. Back to our POV, and Hamilton takes the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's going to have the DRS. However, we are really close to get a very nice slipstream, and we might go side by side through the chicane. Now we're going to have the balls to go down inside. Yes, we do, and that was really audacious, really aggressive, squeezing Hamilton mega aggressively, and Hamilton is going to have the second bite of the cherry, and Alonso might. This is a free wide, I believe, because Alonso dives down inside of the both of us, and this is a free wide. Look at this confirmation, you love to see it. It's a shame that it's for a fraction of a second, and Hamilton gets a good traction around inside, but I'm going to give everything and say no, dive down inside, being very aggressive once again. But what is this race, ladies and gentlemen? And now Hamilton is under pressure from the Alpine. Alonso now switching to the inside, but there's no way that he's going to get that position, because first he's on the mediums and second he is driving an Alpine. But let's watch the replay and appreciate that this can't get any better, and I think this is going to be the best shot that we're going to have in this career mode series. Maybe we can have another moment like this in the future races, but yeah, it was a shame that he only lasted 2 corners, but you know, better than nothing, and I wish we could see this in real life. And then Hamilton was under pressure from Alonso, because we squeezed him very hardly, I'm not gonna lie. So let's watch. Yeah, I was aggressively, I'm not gonna lie, in this first chicane. I can say maybe it was too much, but you know, this is racing. I'm trying to remain in the lead of the Grand Prix, despite having in my head that probably not going to win this race, because sooner or later Hamilton is going to get aggressive with us. But now in this second phase of the battle, I left plenty of space to Hamilton, so I don't know why he slowed down that much. Because in this time I left plenty of room to work with, and I'll also actually managed to thread the needle. That was pretty impressive driving for the Spaniard, doing wonders at the moment in that Alpine. The fact that the Red Bulls and Bottas are doing stupid strategies are going to definitely help him to get this podium. However, he might be under pressure from Pierre Gasly because he's not that far on the softer comparative tire. But now Hamilton takes the lead of the Grand Prix thanks to the help of the DRS, and there's nothing that I can do. I'm going to try to see if I can stay with him in the final DRS zone of the circuit, but look how much distance he already has. There's no way that I'm going to try to retake the lead of the Grand Prix really close to his gearbox, so we'll see if the DRS power and the slipstream power is going to work, and let's see if we're going to retake the lead of the Grand Prix. But you can see on the MFD that I'm starting to struggle a little bit with the fuel and the ERS once again in this Grand Prix, and Hamilton remains the lead in the Grand Prix, and now he's going to try to get away with this one. We're going to have available another DRS zone, and you can see that we're gaining and gaining pretty nicely. Are we going to try to go down inside? Oh, that was really close, and I almost lost the entire front wing, and I think that's pretty much over. From now on, Hamilton is going to pull away and get away with this one again. Another win in this career mode series, and things are going to get really easy from now on in the championship thanks to these guys that should be battling with the reigning world champion. So far in this series, Hamilton won every single race with the exception of the Monaco Grand Prix, which was won by Esteban Ocon. Talking about Ocon, which is our rival in the championship, at the moment he's looking a little bit down the order, so we might retake second place in this Grand Prix. But now it's time to do our second and final stop of the afternoon, and we're going to dress a brand set of medium tires. Hamilton is staying out one more lap, so we might have a chance to retake the lead of the Grand Prix, because the undercut in this track can be very powerful, but it will depend of the traffic that we're going to find out of these black markers. For the time being, we are in P12. We're going to run outside of Kimi Räikkönen, so this is really good. We don't have to manage the Alfa Romeo, our old teammates at Ferrari. And P11 it is now chasing down Nicolas Latifi, so definitely we are under 1 second. Are we going to have DRS? I'm not entirely sure, but definitely that is going to be a huge plus. As Hamilton pulls into the pits, and he's in the straight strategy of mine. He's going to fit the yellow striped tires, and the confirmation that we do not have DRS, and this is not going to make things really easy for us as we go through the chicane. Latifi going really slow. This is hurting me so bad, and we're not going to have DRS because you only have available one detection zone at this circuit. But side by side we go with Nicolas Latifi, and look at Hamilton so far up the road, and we retake the lead of the Grand Prix. Virtually we're leading the Grand Prix, and Hamilton still has to manage the wheel. Him side by side goes with Nicolas Latifi, and who's going to be the biggest win? Latifi doing everything, looking pretty good at the moment, battling Hamilton in his home Grand Prix. But Hamilton now in second place, virtual second place, and once again I don't know how many laps am I going to hold Hamilton, because we still have 13 laps to go. That is too many to hold the Mercedes. I don't know if in my heart is going to take all this pressure, but now we have the Mercedes protege George Russell, which definitely is not going to make things easier for me, and he's going to try to help Hamilton. There's a little bit of controversy in this episode, but 3 Mercedes powered cars at the moment fighting, and one of them is not in the same race. But here we go, slipstream on George Russell, DRS open is going to be an easy move. Let's try to get ahead of him before the chicane to not lose any sort of time. And there you go, Russell pulls into the pit, so he definitely is not going to make things hard for Hamilton. So maybe Toto was talking with Williams at this point. But anyway, let's stop with the controversy, because this is a game. And look at the top, just to give that extra confidence to me, Hamilton setting the fastest lap, so he's definitely so much faster, and there's nothing that I can do. You don't have the idea how much am I pushing right now to win this race, because we had 2 occasions so far in this season. One was at the Spanish Grand Prix, another one was at the Monaco Grand Prix, and now here we are at Montreal at the Canadian Grand Prix, and we're in the same situation. But this time Hamilton has buckets of pace comparing with what he had at the Spanish Grand Prix, and you can see that he's rubbing in his hands to see where is the best place to take the 4th win in this series, and it doesn't need to wait for the DRS. And there you go, there's nothing that I can do. This is really painful, but let me tell you that I'm pushing as as hard as I can, and I think I'm driving a terrific race. The only problem here is the cars. There's nothing that I can do, and we're watching the race of Sergio Perez. That is still outside of the point, and I think it's going to be his finishing position, considering that he's overtaking a Haas. I consider that he's out of the points. But anyway, we're going to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Hamilton 8 seconds clear, and it was just to bring this one home. I wasn't trying to get a fast lap, there's no way, but it's going to be Hamilton, then myself, and then Fernando Alonso. I think this is the best podium that you can get in these days, but once again, another positive result, another pole.
Yes, that's a podium. Excellent drive. The team have worked especially hard this weekend, and this is a fantastic reward.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Enjoy this view while you can, ladies and gentlemen. Hamilton, Vettel and Alonso on the same podium. This means that we're watching at the moment 13 World Championship titles in the same podium. You'll love to see it. I wish we could see this in real life, but it's going to be really hard unless we have a bonkers of a race. But they have it. Confirmation results: Hamilton, Vettel and Alonso, Norris, Ocon, Verstappen that managed to score points out of the best Red Bulls, Stroll, Gasly, Ricciardo, Bottas taking the final point, then Sainz once again outside of the point, Snowden, Leclerc, Perez, George Russell, Mazepin, Latifi, Raikkonen, and then Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher were the only ones to not see the checkered flag. But let's take a look at the driver's standings. Is Hamilton 43 points ahead of us, so definitely he's in a league of his own, followed by Esteban Ocon, which overtook in this episode, and we are only 5 points ahead of the Frenchman. Then you have Max Verstappen, not very far from us. Then we have in 5th place Valtteri Bottas, having a nightmare season with only 34 points. Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda and Lance Stroll tied on points, as well for Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso with only 22. A very good race from the Spaniard. We'll see if he's going to have better results in future episodes, and who knows, he's going to fight with us in the driver's standings. Outside of the top 10, we have Sergio Perez having as well a nightmare of the season like Valtteri Bottas, but this time even lower with just 15 points in P11. Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Nikita Mazepin tied on points with the Monegasque, George Russell, and then the last point scorer for the time being is Carlos Sainz with only 2 points. So it's been a terrible season for Ferrari and even more for Sainz. And then we have both our Alfa Romeos, Mick Schumacher and Nicolas Latifi with the only ones yet to score points. Now let's take a look at the constructor standings. Is Mercedes with a league of his own. Hamilton's lead is so big, 114 points. It would be still ahead of Aston Martin, which has 87 points, only 2 ahead of Alpine. Then you have Red Bull, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Ferrari with just 14 points, a little bit behind the Red Bull Junior team. In the league of the backmarkers is Haas leading the way, followed by Williams and then Alfa Romeo with 0 points. But guys, that has been episode 5 of my F1 2021 mod career mode as Sebastian Vettel. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the video to see more Formula 1 content, really motivate me to make more. Next episode is going to be the French Grand Prix at Le Castellet, but hopefully we can have a good race nonetheless. But that has been me for today. My name's Tom, and I'll see you guys on a brand new video next time. But for now, take care.